speech in the name of His Excellency. You have the floor. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Can you hear me? Peace be on Allah and on His Prophet and companion. If you allow me first to salute each one of you and salute His Excellency Dr. Ali Al-Nuaimi and our distinguished scholars from all over the world. And I would like to thank the International Muslim Societies Council for this meeting. And we are in need of such topics to be discussed. I was in touch with Dr. Osama Al-Abd earlier, and he has some technical issues. So he will record the speech and he will send it to you so that we can broadcast it in the sessions of the meeting. I would like to convey the salutation of Dr. Osama Al-Abd and Dr. Muhammad Ibn Abdul Karim Al-Isa, President of the League, and all the scholars from the Islamic University and those working at it. And I wish you, in the name of the Muslim leagues, all the success in your work in order to achieve success of the Muslim societies. And I would like once again to thank the UAE, dear to our hearts for the support that they give to international Muslim societies. Until now, 97 conferences took place in the UAE in support of the Muslim and humanitarian issues in general. So thank you to the UAE, thank you to the UAE government and its people for all their support, and thank you to Dr. Ali Al-Nuaimi, and also thank you to Dr. Muhammad Al-Bishai and the whole team that's working at the council. We are pleased that you have organized such activities, and you deserve Nobel Peace for this wonderful work. I am very serious. There has been no issue that you have not tackled before. The conference would, for us to organize a conference with 50%, it would cost us more than $100,000. But now the conference costs little, and we can publish books and spread information all over the world. This is something very important. I'm not talking only in the name of the League of Muslim Universities, but I have been working at these universities for a long time. And I would like to reiterate that universities are the source of knowledge, and they can also give some awareness raising, and it's also the way to progress, and it reflects the success of the country and can help it to meet its requirements. And it's one of the indicators that measure the success or regress of countries. And progress of countries can be measured by the progress of its universities and its role in building awareness and pushing the country to join other developing countries and facing challenges it's facing. In fact, Islam has delivered a whole and comprehensive system. In case that we stick to it, we can reform the individual and reform life and humanity in general, and achieve success and progress that the whole Islamic societies aspire to. So because when the Muslims were sticking to the values of God, they managed to establish civilization that changed lives, and the West and the East benefited from it. The system of values, be it civilized or human values that were built on the Quran and the Sunnah, is the one that made the nation to move forward. And those Islamic values the excellent thing about those Islamic values is that it is a deep requirement in Islam, which gave it an additional value and gave it the possibility to be reflected on the ground at different times and different places, because the value, as we all know, when it takes its sacredness from the religious aspects, it can be the most influential one in the life of a human being. This on one hand. On the other hand, and to control the best way to control the human being is to control itself voluntarily. And this can only be done through values and principles that are supported by believing in them. And one of the countries in the world that spent millions of dollars, but it did not manage to achieve the success it aspired to. There is verses in Quran that says, "Oh, you the believers, the alcohol and the rest, you should avoid it." So when these verses of Quran came, it achieved what all the laws of human could not achieve. And the companions of the Prophet, they started to make all the changes necessary in implementation of the orders of God. The Islamic values have different categories. We have the high values like slavery and wisdom, and we have civilization values and diversity and freedom and strength and creativity. We have also ethical values such as patience and collaboration and fraternity. So it's a long topic, but I would like once again to welcome our scholars and Dr. Amani from Indonesia and all the other scholars. This is an important issue, and we need to reinstate the system of values in Islamic societies in general and all over the world. So wish you all the success. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. And from the Arabic Egypt to Jakarta, our sister Professor Amani Lubis, the Chancellor of Hidayah Sharif University. You have the floor.
شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Peace be upon
الحمد
you.
لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أما بعد، معالي الدكتور علي النعيمي رئيس المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة، معالي الدكتور
There is a problem with the sound. I cannot hear you.
نعم. معالي الدكتور الأستاذ الدكتور أسامة العبد أمين عام رابطة الجامعات الإسلامية
Islamic Universities, and the speech was given in his name by Dr. Ali Sulaiman. Thank you for that, Excellency Dr. Samuddin from 11th University in Syria.
سعادة الدكتور محمد بشاري أمين عام المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة. أهلا بكم في هذا المؤتمر الافتراضي، وهذه المرة نأخذ موضوعا مهما جدا عن منظومة القيم في التعليم الجامعي نحو رؤية جديدة لإصلاح التعليم. ومن ضمن هدف هذا المؤتمر طبعا تشريح هذه الإشكالية
we need to delve into details of this phenomenon and to guide the decision makers in education about the dangers of value system in our times, and will collect all the recommendations from the experts in curriculum programs so that we can establish a new foundation for the post-pandemic in education policies, whether it is Islamic education or general education. So on this occasion, I would like to highlight that
الفكر وأيضا بالنسبة لوجود
the thoughts
مشاكل وأيضا صعوبات
having problems or difficulties in self-reform
للمعتنقي الأديان
for the followers of different religions, and not only Islam.
من وجود تجديد في الخطاب الديني وهذا دور الجامعات والمنظمات الدينية في جميع أنحاء العالم مهم جدا حتى نؤكد للقادة قادة المسلمين والمسلمات طبعا لكي يحدوا من مشكلات هذه المشكلات ومساعدة القائمين على التعليم للتسهيل في أداء التحسينات في المجال التعليمي وأيضا وجود أيضا إدراك معنى جديد في العصر القادم للتعليم والانفتاح في مجال التعليم حتى نصلح من مجتمعاتنا الإسلامية وشعوب العالم. فمهم جدا من تعليم الشباب والجيل الصاعد أن هناك قيما مشتركة بين الحضارة ومراعاة الخصوص مع مراعاة الخصوصيات. فلذلك لابد التأكيد على ضرورة تحقيق السلم الذاتي وتحقيق السلم المجتمعي ثم الدولي. وفي هذا أيضا نؤكد أن هذا المؤتمر مهم للحصول على هذه الأهداف. وفي هذه المناسبة أظن أنني سوف لي أيضا كلمة في الجلسة الأولى فأكتفي بهذا مع شكري الجزيل للمنظمين لهذا المؤتمر واحتراماتي لجميع المتحدثين والمتحدثات. إن شاء الله نخرج بمخرجات وثمرات مفيدة لتحسين سواء أداء التعليم في جميع بلاد المسلمين إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم.
And in Jakarta, from Jakarta, Indonesia, to the 11th country, and to His Excellency Dr. Hussam Eddin, President of the Council, President of the University of the Levant University. You have the floor. Please open the microphone. Peace be upon you. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. First of all, I would like to thank the world Muslim societies and organizers of this conference and the League of Muslim Universities and the organizers, and we are part of them. And the University of Hidayat Allah and the Ibn Sina Institute and all the participant entities at this important conference, which came at the right time. And we need to discuss this sensitive, important topic before delving into the details. We cannot link terrorism and the Islamic education. This is something that was said by the enemies of our nation. So the fact is the absence of the real, the correct religious education, that's the problem. And there is another problem is that most universities in the Arab and Muslim world, besides the religious specialties, don't take into consideration the system of values and ethics which should take place at university studies. University education, as understood in our era, that university has three important missions: education, research, and guiding society. But who said that education should stay away from ethics and values? And us, as a Muslim, we have a huge legacy in ethics and values. The system of ethics and values for Arabs and Muslims started from the divine inspiration that was given to all the prophets, from Prophet Noah, Ibrahim, and Moses, and Prophet Muhammad, the last messenger of God. So this system has the privilege of being linked to faith and the link between the God and the human being, and it stays with him. It is part of the religion, and it cannot be separated from him. If it's not part of him, it will not be ethics. The West has its own ethics, but if we look at some of those ethics, we can see that they are not connected to the faith, but in many cases, it just came as part of the interest, and they understood that being honest that can lead to profit. And so they took it like that. I would not generalize, but I want to say that our values and principles are linked to our religion. This is a topic that we can discuss for a long time. And God says to his prophet, you have excellent ethics. And also says about the prophet that you were sent to complete the ethics. So this explains why universities have a role to play in adopting a system of ethics and values that were conveyed by Islam and different other religions. So we should take into consideration the contribution of universities in establishing the good values and building the right individual that will be useful to society. So we have three elements at the university, that we have the student, the teacher, and the curriculum. We need to establish an ambience, ethical ambience at university. And this ambience should not be just about organization and knowledge, but also knowledge and by giving example. And the teacher should be responsible for creating that ethical ambience so that those ethics and values can affect on society. There is a big glitch in the system of education in many universities, which is that the goals of education on which focus in are limited mostly to the aspects of knowledge and leaves the other aspects of ethics and values which are overlooked. And this leads to negative aspects amongst the graduates and the university and the effect on society in general. I won't be very long on this subject, but to summarize what is happening with terrorism and barbarism, and some university expert, regardless of their expertise, can show the glitch that we have, and that glitch can be corrected by taking the right decisions and forming the curriculum. And that would be done through the ethics and values on which the whole humanity agree. And then there is the good role model. And from our experience, humble experience, we have inserted some curriculum which are in all our classes, like economy, for example. We adopt the call to Islam, which is based on moderation. We have also the path and the ethics. We have another curricula, which is the spiritual education. We have another one, is the dialogue between religions. Another curricula is the culture of peace in Islam and building peace in the world. And we try to reflect that practically through participation in symposiums and meeting between teachers. And we take some of the things from each one. So when the human beings move away from ethics, and we need to teach people ethics before knowledge. Thank you, my colleague and Professor Dr. Hussam Al-Din, for President of the University of the Levant country. I would like to thank all the participants, especially the organizers of this meeting, especially the League of Muslim Societies and the Hidayah University and the Levant Country University and the University of Ain Punjab in Serbia and Ibn Sina Institute for Human Sciences. Corona pandemic has led to a different process that is pushing the expert of education to think seriously about new modes of education and to join it to a way of teaching that will humanize its ways of teaching and collaboration between people. It is important now more than ever to think about the methodologies and mechanisms that will help build a system of ethics that will stop the degradation of ethics, which could lead to violence. And setting a system of ethics in curriculum will help to promote the persons of the individual and will help the application of ethical process in the process of education. The modern world now is paying attention to the danger of separating knowledge from ethics, and that all what could happen because of that, and that there is a need to reconnect knowledge and ethics as it can help in shaping a good citizen, calling for publishing a common project that will control the concepts of ethics and set them in the system of knowledge. In ethics and values in curriculum is not only question of slogans and promotion and seasonal competition, but it requires activating the changing behavior of the students. We need to take practical steps that will make the ethical system an attitude that will be applied on the ground, that will reflect on society and will stop violence and terrorism in society. and the society will be built on ethics from the beginning. So this is why we are calling on enhancing and promoting training courses on ethics and the values of ethics in university education, and also by involving students in shaping the system of ethics for the university students. After this speech, I will move to the first session, which is chaired by Dr. Ahmed Al-Sabehi. And this session that will tackle the first, in which more than 40 the speakers have discussed. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you.
First and before
First
everything,
of all,
I would like to
peace
thank God
be on
and
God
also
and the Prophet. In the name
these
of God,
verses from the Holy Quran
we have
talking
the verses
about the
of God that
importance of
talks
reading.
about encourage people to read and to knowledge.
Your Excellencies and eminent scholars and doctors,
their
my dear colleagues in the college in Dubai,
all
my dear
of you
attendees
meeting us
through the
and those
different
who will
social
be
media
watching us on
platforms.
different social
Your Excellency
media.
Ali
Excellency
Rashid
Dr. Ali
Al-Naimi,
Rashid Al-Naimi, Dr.
Dr. Osama
Al-Abd,
Al-Abd, Your Excellency Muhammad Al-Bishari, Dr. Amani Lupis, Dr. Hussam Din Farfour. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I would like to express my gratitude and to the Council for this civilized presentation talking about the university education value system toward a new vision for educational reform, and in participation from the Islamic University League and Bilad al-Sham University and other institutions to make it a successful conference on the land of the UAE. We all gathered in order to look for how to take the Ummah of Risala, how to look for new educational policies and also the new value system in our curricula. Your Excellencies and scholars, my colleagues, attendees through different platforms. So the Council gathered the experts to analyze these curricula in order to discover the values and exploit this opportunity to distinguish between the negative and positive values which establish for development. I wish you all the best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, I move the mic. Our session is late a little bit for 15 minutes. So we will take 15 minutes in order to give enough time for the speakers. So any presenter, please don't exceed the 10 minutes allocated to you. This session will speak about the educational values within the educational curricula and the modern trends. My name is Ahmed Subahi from the American University in Dubai, UAE. The speakers, we have 5 speakers. Hopefully they are ready in order not to waste time. The first one, our sister, Professor Amani Lupis. The second one, our brother, Al-Arabi, Dr. Al-Arabi Al-Hadrawi. Hopefully I haven't mistaken in the names. And please forgive me in the pronunciation if I commit any mistakes. The third one, for our brother Dr. Anwar Gitseeds. Hopefully I pronounce it correctly. And number 4, for Dr. Rania Ahmed Al-Ambrabi. And our last speaker from Nouakchott, from Mauritania, Dr. Amin Mohammed Sidi. So hopefully they are all ready in order to exploit the time. And thank you very much for your patience and also for your great efforts. And for your participation in these new trends. The first one, Dr. Amani Lubis, the head of Hidayatullah University in Indonesia. She will speak about the modern educational trends and values in the university curricula. Floor is yours, Doctor.
شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much.
شكرا جزيلا رئيس الجلسة دكتور
Dear moderator of the session, Dr. Ahmed Subayhi
الجامعة الأمريكية
from the American University in Dubai, UAE.
شكرا على
Thank you very much for this nice introduction.
أرجو أن أبدأ
I will start my presentation
مداخلتي في الجلسة الأولى
in the first session,
التوجهات
talking
التربوية
about the educational trends in the modern era regarding teaching values in the university curriculum.
الحضور الكرام وعلى الأخص المتحدثون
attendees,
في هذه الجلسة
especially the speakers,
الدكتور العربي الحضراوي
Dr. Al-Arabi Al-Hadrawi, Dr. Anwar,
آسفة والدكتورة رانيا والدكتور
and Dr. Rania,
محمد
in addition to Dr. Amin.
سيدي. فأبدأ أن في إندونيسيا
So I would like to
جامعة
start
شريف هداية الله الإسلامية
Sharif Hidayatullah University is a governmental university. It was an Islamic university that teaches all the subjects
ولكن منذ عام
for Islamic sciences, but then since 2002 we started a new trend. We have got now medicine, health sciences, economy, and also technology departments in addition to other colleges, Islamic sciences. So the first mission for the university,
وجود جامعة إسلامية ولكن
which is a new university and has got medicine and technology, so it's very important to apply
التكامل المعرفي.
the knowledge integration concept.
ماذا نقصد بالتكامل المعرفي؟
What do we mean by this integration?
طبعا عن طريق الدمج بين علم الوحي وعلم الحقل الكوني بالقواعد والمبادئ على النحو السليم
in the right way and take into consideration the different speciality, economical, social, and even the new issues in the current in the modern society. So we need to go along with time and also the advancement of technology. For that, we went forward and we integrated different sciences.
ومن أساسيات دمج العلوم
Also,
منظومة القيم.
We need to embed the moral and values, the humanitarian values and Islamic values in these curriculum.
التي تهتم بالثقافة العامة مثل علوم الصحة
especially when we talk about hygiene and psychology, economy.
هذه العلوم. فالحمد لله أصبحت الآن عندنا منهج خاص للاقتصاد الإسلامي وأيضا أو الاقتصاد لكن فيها القيم الإسلامية والإنسانية
And
واضحة
also we
فيها.
have got the
وأيضا
different
في
values
كلية الطب عندنا
clearly laid
منهج
out
خاص
in the medicine department or
أو
faculty.
مادة تسمى بالدكتور المسلم
We
أو
have
الطبيب
got
المسلم.
one talk about the Muslim doctors.
عندنا هذا الاختصاص، فلذلك
We have got this speciality,
دمجنا بين
and
القيم
for that we
الإسلامية
embed the
في
Islamic
العلوم
values
والثقافة العامة.
in different
أما
sciences.
أن سوف أتحدث عن
Also,
التوجهات
I would like to speak
التربوية.
about the new
هناك
educational
5
trends.
مقترحات مني،
These 5 suggestions, I will put it on your table, even 4 actually,
يتم إصلاح
in order
أو تحسين
to improve
المناهج الجامعية
the
حتى
current university curriculum
تتم بها توجهات حديثة
in order to meet the
لتحسين
modern
التعليم.
trends in education.
فظهرت في العقد الماضي
In the
تزايد
previous
3
decade,
أشكال من
we noticed 3:
التعصب. أولاً التعصب
dogmatism,
الاقتصادي
the economical
والثقافي
dogmatism,
والديني.
and
وعانت
cultural
دول
and
العالم من
religious
مشاكل
dogmatism.
غير
And for
عادلة في
that, the
توزيع
whole world suffered from
الثروات
different issues
والرفاهية
for the wealth
الاجتماعية بسبب
distribution and
السلوك
social
الاقتصادي
welfare because
والاستغلالي
of the
والرأسمالي من
economical
قبل
behavior
مجموعة صغيرة من
from
النخب
small group
الاقتصادية
of
التي تسيطر
economists
على
that
معظم
control
الأصول الاقتصادية.
the main
ومن ناحية
assets in
أخرى
the
في
world.
الثقافة
And
قد
for that,
أدت
in the
الفارق
culture,
الكبير في الحصول
we
على
noticed the
المعلومات
different
المفيدة
gap between the
والصحيحة
information, the correct information,
بوجود أو
and
وجود
also
شبكات قوة
we noticed there is
للاستيلاء على
a
المعلومات
network
ونشر
of power
ثقافة
to
اللا أخلاقي
control this
في
information
وسائل
and spread
الإعلام
the
التي تسبب قلة
non-moral
الاحترام
information
للقيم
all around these
الحميدة والثقافات
platforms in order to take the
الإيجابية
people away from the positive
لخلق
values,
مجتمعات
to
تتسم
create a
بالإيجابية
community,
والإنمائية
to
منسجمة
focus
مع روح التقدم التكنولوجي
on
والثقافي.
positiveness and going away
ويسلط
from
الضوء
this power,
أيضا على
and also
وجود
to
اللا
shed light
تسامح في الدين
on
وفي
the lack
المجتمع
of
بشكل
tolerance
عام.
in the
وقد تراجع
community.
الصراع العنفي
We
الصراع
noticed
والعنف
the
الجسدي
violence
بين أفراد
and
معتنقي
physical
الدين الواحد
violence
وبين
in the
أصحاب
same
المعتقدات
religions with the
الأخرى.
different
ولكن
believers.
هناك ظاهرة من
But we
وجود
noticed
ارتفاع في
there is a high
العدد
percentage
وما
in the
يدل
number.
على زيادة ملحوظة
There is a
في
notable
العنف الروحي أو
increase in the
المعنوي
spiritual violence,
على شكل خطاب
which can
الكراهية
be
والتفضيل
seen
الديني
in the
وإهانة
hatred
الرموز
speech,
الدينية.
and even
وما زاد
talking about the
إلى
different religious
ذلك
symbols,
وجود
and that
العنف
increased
السياسي بسبب
the
الاختلافات
violent political
الاتجاهات الفكرية أو
trends
الثقافية.
between people and communities.
وبوجود العديد من
In addition to
البحوث في
that, we
مجال
found there's
الإصلاح
different research
المجتمعي
in the field of
التي فيه
community
العامل
reform,
التربوي يكون
where we
أقوى
find education
تأثيراً
is very
في
important
التغير الاجتماعي.
when we talk about
فهناك
community
من
change.
ضمن مخرجات البحوث لقد
So
قرأنا
one
أو
outcome from
قرأت
the
أنا
research I have
بعض
read,
المخرجات
some
في
of this
التعليم الإسلامي.
we find it in the
ولو
Islamic
أنني
education.
يعني لا أخص فقط التعليم
And
الإسلامي،
here I'm not
ولكن
talking about Islamic
أخذت
research,
هذا
but
الجزء
also I want to
من
make
البحث
specific
عن
note
كيف
about how
نطور
to look
التعليم الإسلامي
for new
في جميع
development
مراحلها
in the different
في
stages,
جميع مراحله حتى تعطي مخرجات
so
أو
we can give
خريجين
the
تتسم بالوسطية الإسلامية
graduates
وأيضا
the moderate Islamic values
بالإنسانية العادلة
and also the humanitarian
جميع
prospect
شعوب العالم.
to all the people of the world.
فأولا
First
هناك
of all,
3 أشياء
there's 3
تأثر
things
بالتعليم الإسلامي.
that has got
أولا
impact from the
وجود
Islamic
كفاءة
education.
المعلم
We
وسلامة
have the first one is the
اتجاهاته
teacher
الدينية
and
والفكرية.
the correctness
وثانيا
of his
المواد
Islamic trends.
التعليمية التي
The
تعطي
second one is
حلولا
the educational
لمشاكل
resources that
المجتمع
give
ومساعدة
solutions to the
الخريجين
community
للعمل
and
والكسب.
also help the people.
وثالثا الأداء الحكومي
In addition to
التي
the
توفر
governmental performance
السياسات
that provide the
التي
policies
تساهم على تحسين السلوكيات
which
والتسامح العام.
in making tolerance in public.
الآن المقترحات
Now, the
الأربعة.
suggestions, the 4 suggestions I talked
أولا
about,
في
the first
تحسين
one,
المناهج
improving
حتى
the
تضم
curriculum in order to have
مبادئ وقيم
the different principles and
الإصلاح
values
الذاتي
for
مع وجود
self-reform
روح التعددية
with the spirit of
لنشر التسامح واحترام الآخر، وفي نفس الوقت
multi-civilizations,
التقوية
and
بحب
also to
الوطن
strengthen
واستقراره
patriotism
وإنسانيته.
and stability within the
وثانيا
country. The
تجديد
second
المناهج
one,
أيضا وطرق
renewing
التدريس
the
التي
curriculum
تساعد
and the teaching
الطلبة
methodologies
على
which help the
الاستيعاب
students to understand
للتيارات
the different
الفكرية المختلفة والتقدم
intellectual
التكنولوجي
trends in addition
يعني
to
السريع
the
جدا
technological
مع
advancement
الانفتاح
with openness
والإبداع والنهوض
and
والنقد.
also creativeness and innovative.
وذلك بتشجيع
And
الحوار البناء وإعطاء الحجج
can
السليمة
happen by
لخلق البهجة
dialogue
والمتعة
and
في
creating
طلب
happiness
العلم.
and fun in studying and
أن
learning,
طلب
which is
العلم
the modern
والاستفسار
trend.
والتعليم عامة والتربية عامة
So to have fun in education and in
تعطي
learning
البهجة ليس
and
بدلا
creating
من
happiness
الخوف
within the
والقلق
learners
من
instead
جانب
of
المعلم
fear and panic
والطلبة
from the
وأيضا
teachers,
المجتمع.
students, or even the community.
وثالثا تحسين
Number
في
3,
نظام التقييم
to improve the
حتى لا
assessment
يقيم فقط من
and
الناحية
evaluation
المعرفية
system, not only from
ولكن
the
أيضا من
knowledge
كل
aspect,
جوانب
but
البيداغوجيا،
from a comprehensive
ذلك بإعطاء الطالب الفرصة للإبداع
aspects to give the
لرأيه
students to
وإحساسه
express himself and also express his emotions.
ويوجد أو
In
مع
addition to
وجود
that,
تطبيق إلى القيم
giving
الإنسانية
implications
مثل
and
التعاون
apply
والتكامل
it with the
خلال
community
عملية التربية والتعليم.
through education.
ورابعا كما
Number
قلت
4,
التكامل المعرفي
as I said, the knowledge integration
وتطوير
and
البحوث
developing
العلمية
the different
مع وجود
researches
التقنيات الحديثة
with the different
والتكنولوجيا
technologies,
وخاصة في زمن الجائحة
especially in the time
كورونا
of this pandemic, Corona 2019.
فالكل لابد أن يساهم
So
في
we
تخفيف
all
حدة
we need to focus on elevating the
من
impact
حدة المعاناة
and the
الموجودة
suffer
وأيضا
in
المشاكل
the
الاجتماعية
community, even
والاقتصادية
the social
إلى جانب
economical
إعطاء
problem,
الحلول
in addition to giving the
اللقاحات أو
solutions
اللقاح
for the
المناسب
vaccine, with the suitable
للجائحة
vaccine
وأيضا
for this
الدعوة
pandemic,
إلى زيادة
in
الوعي
addition
الجمعي
raising awareness
بالصحة
for the
العامة
community
ومعالجة
about
المرضى
the general
مع وجود
hygiene
التعاون
and also
الدولي
providing medication
والعالمي
with the
في مجال
international cooperation
التعليم
in the field of
في
education
مجال البحوث العلمية.
and also the scientific
وطبعا
research.
على المؤسسات التربوية
So
بشكل
we
خاص
all, especially the
الجامعات
institution
لابد
universities,
وجود دراسة كافية
we need to have
لإدماج
a comprehensive
القيم
study
الإسلامية
about embedding the
خاصة
Islamic values
داخل التوجهات
within
التربوية.
the modern trends.
لابد من مراعاة
So it's very important to take into consideration these values
اللوائح
when
والقوانين
we put
في
the different
الجامعات
laws and
وأيضا
policies within the
الأنشطة
university, even
وربط
in the
بين
activities,
المنحازات
and to
المنجزات
relate
التكنولوجية
the
والقيم
achievements
الأخلاقية
in technology
والسماح
and the ethical
بالتطوير
values,
الفردي
and you have self-development,
في
especially
الجامعات في
creating
هذا
his
الإطار
innovative and creative aspects
وأيضا تسليط الضوء
and
على
shed light
القيم في
on the
المناهج
values in the
بدلا من
curricula
مجرد الإفراط في التلقين
instead of
للمعلومات
focusing on the traditional teaching way.
القيم ولكن لا تنفذ. وتقبل النقد كما قلت
Accepting criticism, this is
الإبداع
very
وأيضا
important,
النقد
especially when we say
ونشر روح
creativity
الديمقراطية
and spreading
بخصوص
the spirit
الأوضاع
of
القائمة
democracy
والمراد
regarding the current circumstances and developing this
وتشجيع
spirit,
الأبحاث العلمية
encourage scientific
في
research
مجالات مختلفة.
in the different fields.
إذن هذه القيم
So these values
نهتم بها
need to pay a
ونؤكد
special
عليها
attention
في
and
سواء في
to
المناهج وفي
emphasize
السياسات
in our
وفي
curricula and in our policies
الممارسات اليومية
with
حتى
our
نحسن من
daily
الأداء
practices
في
to
التعليم.
improve
أظن
performance in
هذا
education. I think
مداخلتي في
this is
هذه
my
الجلسة
participation in today's session.
وسوف
And
طبعا نحقق أولا
as you know, we want to achieve
التحدث في التوجهات الجديدة فلا
of
بد
the modern
من
trends in
استعمال
education,
الوسائل المنصات
to use
الافتراضية
the
بكثرة
different
والتعليم عن
virtual
بعد.
platforms and social
أيضا
distance or
تكون في سياسة
social different distance
الجامعة
education should
سياسة
be a part of
التعليم
the
عامة
policy in
في كل
education
الدول.
for all countries.
نعم
Excuse me,
شكرا.
doctor. Thank you
وهذا
very much.
ختامي.
Thank you for your listening and paying
نعم
attention.
والله نعم وشكرا جزيلا. ونأمل بخروج أيضا
wish you all the best in
أفكار
this
جديدة
conference and wishing to have new ideas to improve our level of educational and scientific in the Islamic countries. Thank you very much. Dr. Ahmed.
السلام عليكم
and wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you very much, Doctor, for this great participation, great ideas, especially in the field of mixing the Islamic sciences and the real-life sciences. This is a great concept, and that will have integration. And Islam is going along with the new technology and advancement, especially when we say Islam is valid for all time. Thank you very much. Now, we move to the second speaker from Jakarta. We move to Morocco. From Muhammad Al-Khamis in Rabat, Dr. Al-Arabi Al-Hadrawi will speak to us within 10 minutes about the role of university in developing and educating the educational values for students. Dr. Al-Arabi, floor is yours. Thank you very much for this nice introduction and for this valuable session. Thank you very much. I will share now.
هل البحث واضح أستاذي الكريم؟
Can you see my screen? Yes, yes. So at the beginning, I would like to thank the World Muslim Community Council in cooperation with the Muslim University League. Here I will speak about the different aspects, and through this one, I will speak about the role of universities in developing and teaching the values for students. As you know, values has a great importance in developing student skills in the universities. Universities as social establishments, it has got the ability to do research that go along with the value requirements in the university. It helps and integrate these incomes by inaugurating different values with the different trends. Here we talk cultural, political, or social values, and that can provide the academic services to help the value of belonging to the community, which can't be achieved without the university helping in this way, and also students helping in that participation, and also to avoid the negative values. It's very important in this study. How can university build its system, especially when we talk about values? Do universities need to adjust their curricula according to the different changes? And also, what is the strategy that can make the university to do its role. That can't be achieved without the importance of this study, focusing on the importance of educational values that present to the student and that reflect in their character and ideas with their culture and trends, and also how to look to the past, current, and the future. And that leads us to another income, which is now the revolution happening in the technological and digital field, and have impact on the member, and also have got a great impact on their behavior, which has impact in their character. The third one, focusing on the importance of this study by talking to this assigned group, and that create a new series of the civilized students to achieve the welfare, the welfare of the community, and to achieve the future trends. Number 4, focusing about the different transformation that the community knows and need the university attitude in order to express his opinion about the values. The goals, here we try to focus on the objectives, how to know how we can acquire these values and what is the modern trends, to know the value of university and its role in building the youth value and their behavior in the family and in the community, to talk about the importance of the university, how to have impact in the students' intellectual aspect, and to select the good to have the good ideas, and also to participate in shaping the character of students. So between the first and fourth input, we find the importance of the objectives of this research, to know how the students acquire these values and how to have impact on the students, especially that guide his way in the future, and also to have positive or negative impact on the students. Acquiring these skills for the students is very important about the participation of this in shaping the behavioral, the personal behavior, which is considered very important for the students or even the teachers, how to accustom him to the positive value, and also acquiring these values and how it has impact on the health, psychological health for students. Also, these values is related to shape and also to have psychological adaptation. Also, part of this acquirement, it's very important because it's participate in the happiness and feel of satisfaction. So religious committed students, they have a higher value, they feel happier and also better with relation with the others. Also connecting that to the personal relationship with others. So that will raise the awareness. And for that, we focus on the results, which help to acquire more positive values. The assessment and the increase of self-awareness or self-assessment to achieve the goals. And as long as it is more professional, that will increase in better personality. Also, we would like to negotiate here or talk about the university and its role in building the youth values. When students go to the university, they go to a new world, new knowledge, a new field, because it will give us students and also a new generation that cope up with this new technology. So students, if they haven't got these values, which they learn from the family or from the friends or even from their peer in the community. That will lead us to a different one, which is the university and how he stick to his own moral. As we say, that will help him in organize his intellectual selection and as a branch for his social raise in the community and prepare them for the future. So the Arab youth today within the university, they have different values and they are not using it different from what's before the university. So that will help. All the ideologies in the community will have impact within the youth to have the base in change in the community. So today, the university is responsible about changing the youth or about preparing them for the future, to make them ready and also to understand the different reflections that have impact in their value and to prepare the future generation in developing the community. Especially now, we talk about the university role to building the patriotic side of the students, and that will have importance to understand the student, understand thinking, and also to understand how the students are open to globalization or even to how to shape his brain. The third one, the university teacher, how he understands the culture of change within the students. So the teacher, he is not only a teacher or even a guide inside. He has got a great importance role when he graduate the students and also to stick the students with their values and serving the community. So the university teacher, he should be able to focus on the positive values and also to integrate the religious knowledge values, because he will leave a brand within the student's psychology. In addition to that, within his educational philosophy, he should be based on educational clear values. If he is ambiguous in his knowledge, students will not interact with him. But if he is comprehensive and he is aware about all these new aspects and trends in the field of morals and values, he will be popular within students. So university teacher, he is the fourth to guarantee the safety of students from any cultural invasion and mislead their way in the community. So, especially helping the students to understand the different methodology and to participate in the activities that help participating in that and also creating chances and not falling in the gaps in order to participate in the university role. The challenges for values within the university. And that can be within the students in the university, especially when there is any gap in the university programs, or even on what the students are doing and the relation of these values. So we need to take into consideration what the students say and hear. That will help and also tell us how to reform the university values. Also, some people they have the mixture between the religious and university values. And that's exactly what happened in some universities, which are not open to other opinion. with the different quick change for religious values. Some universities, they have got their academic dimension, focusing on the knowledge. Then we find the new trend of values that spoil different methodology. Sorry, Dr. Al-Arabi, for interruption. I am here an organizer for the session. I like your speech and I like your ideas. And I would like to hear you till the end, but I beg your pardon. Can we move to the recommendation, please? From this study, building this value system within the university is related to coping up with all the world values and how to protect them from other values. It's very important to talk about this value set within universities and also encourage the different projects and the activities within university with the activities and the teaching curriculum within strengthening these values for students. Also working with the universities in order to take all the precautionary measures to integrate these values of belonging to the community and also to help encouraging these values, Islamic values in the university to face the different challenges. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for this valuable speech and for your wonderful thought, especially for the recommendations. And we hope that these recommendations can be added to those of Professor Amani. And we can look at what can be achieved in the long term so that those thoughts can bring some benefit. Thank you once again, Dr. Arabi Al-Hadawi from the College of Human Sciences in Mohammed V University in Rabat in the Kingdom of Morocco. So from Indonesia to Morocco, now we will fly to Europe, to Serbia, to the Islamic University of Serbia with His Eminence, Dr. Anwar bin Seat. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, and sorry if it was misspoken. And His Eminence, Dr. will tell us in his speech in 10 minutes about the preparation of the generations for the upcoming changes to face the technological and challenges. And His Excellency Dr. Anwar bin Seat, the Dean of the College of Islamic Studies of Serbia. Wish you good luck. Thank you. Peace be on God. I would like to start by thanking God and praying on His Prophet and family and companions. Allow me, first of all, to thank all of the attendees at this conference, Excellency, Eminence, the Doctor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
From the Balkans, from Serbia.
نحن هنا نعيش كأقلية مسلمة لكن شعبنا أصلي وربي بوسناق.
But we are original.
نسلم عليكم من هذه البلاد الطيبة.
So we salute you from
إن ديننا دين الإسلام دين العلم.
Our religion, Islam, is a religion of knowledge. The first thing that was inspired to our Prophet was knowledge. So sometimes we wonder in those days when they had they did not have anything else important, but there was still verses of Quran calling the prophet to read. So we can say that our religion is a religion of knowledge.
أو خلصت بقوله تعالى علم الإنسان بالقلم.
It says God has taught the human being with the pen. So we as a nation, if we do not learn from those verses, we will not be able to achieve much. And in future generation, they should learn from us so that knowledge can keep going on. Our religion is a religion of knowledge, and the battle of Jadid, the prophets had asked them to teach his youngsters. So this is the duty for us to teach our youngsters, our children, because they are our legacy. So the most important thing is that
اليوم أن التكنولوجيا التي نحن اليوم نستعملها جعلتنا أننا نعيش في قرية صغيرة من كل أنحاء العالم. اليوم نحن اجتمعنا من إندونيسيا إلى سوريا إلى الإمارات إلى الشام وإلى كل بلاد العالم. اليوم مع بعض نتكلم ونتسابق، فهذه التكنولوجيا لا بد لنا أن نعلم أولادنا حتى يستعدوا لقرون قادمة. فلا بد لنا كجامعات ومؤسسات تعليمية أن نهتم بأن أمة متقدمة قد تجاوزت هذه الأمور ونحن نستعمل هذا ما هم توصلوا عليه. لكن نحن كأمة، هل نحن استطعنا أن نعلم أولادنا ونجعلهم مستعدين لسنوات قادمة؟ لأن سيتغير كل ما نحن اليوم نرى. مثلا نحن في صربيا هذه الأيام انتشرت كورونا بقوة، فقد أغلقت المدارس وأغلقت الجامعات، لكن هناك تعليم عن البعد. فلا بد لنا أن نستعد كأمة. مثلا هناك ثورة كبيرة من علمنا ومن معلومات ديننا. فمثلا أنا أتذكر عندما كنت طالبا جامعي كنا نستخدم مثلا التخريج إلى حديث موجم ومفهرس، وهناك نبحث عن الحديث معين نبقى ساعات ونبحث. لكن اليوم وصلنا إلى أقراص وإلى برامج، فهناك تدخل كلمة واحدة في ثواني أو في دقيقة واحدة كل هذه الحديث بدون تعب. فلا بد لنا أن نستعيد هذا التقدم العلمي، ونريد طلابنا وشبابنا حتى يكون عندهم معرفة. الأمر الثاني، نحن كأمة لا يجب فقط أن نتكلم عن الأكل وعن الطعام وعن كيف نصنع الأكل، بل يجب أن نتكلم كيف نعيد لتصوير البرامج التعليمية وكيف نصنع. مثلا أنا أتذكر أنا أحد حكام دول غربية عندما كان يلقي كلمة ويتكلم عن المسلمين فقال لهم إن لا دائما أنتم فقط تصنعون الشيبس، لما لا تصنعون دراجة هوائية فيكون عندكم دراجة أنتم صنعتموها؟ إذا لا تستطيعون أن تصنعوا طيارة أو لا تستطيعون أن تصنعوا سيارة فاصنعوا لكم عن دراجة هوائية حتى يكون عندكم أنكم صنعتموها، أنتم عملتموها. فنحن اليوم أيضا نحتاج نصنع، يكون عندنا كمبيوتر نحن صنعناه حتى يكون باستطاعة كل طالب في مدارس يكون عندهم كمبيوتر. ونحن كمان نعرف أن في عالم الإسلامي هناك دول فقيرة ليس لهم إمكانيات حتى يؤمنوا لطلابهم هذه الأجهزة وحتى يؤمنوا إنترنت. كثير من طلابنا ليس لهم بإمكانية حتى يستعملوا هذه التكنولوجيا. إذا نستطيع يستعملها فكيف نتكلم كيف سيصنعها؟ فلا بد لنا أن نعيد طلابنا ونعمل للجيل لنا جيل متسالم، جيل الذي سيفكر ويتطور. فالعلم يتطور يوما بعد يوم. فنحن يجب أن نطور برامج تعليمية في جامعاتنا وفي كلياتنا ونستغل كل الإمكانيات المتاحة حتى نطور كل هذه البرامج. فهناك إمكانية وهذه فرصة كبيرة حتى تبادل الخبرات التي موجودة عند كل أساتذة الفاضل في جامعات عريقة. فهناك جامعة في إندونيسيا وجامعة في مصر وجامعة في الإمارات، كل جامعة لها خبرات خاصة، فلا بد لتبادل هذه الخبرات ونساعد بعضنا بعض. يكون هناك تكلفة أو لا يوجد أصلا تكلفة، مثلا هذه المنتدى ليس لها أي تكاليف، لكن لو كل هذا مثلا استعملناه واستضفنا هؤلاء الأساتذة الفاضل حتى يلقوا محاضرات على مسامع طلابنا ونستفيد من علمهم وخبراتهم، فهذا هو دور هذه التكنولوجيا التي كنت أريد أن أقول عنها وأتكلم عنها. ونحن قد لا نهتم بهذه الأمور، لكن هذه التكنولوجيا لها دور كبير. فنحن هنا في صربيا الآن نسعى أن يكون عندنا طلاب متمكنين في استعمال هذه التكنولوجيا، ولا نريد أن تكون عندنا طالبة متحجبة متعلمة متدينة لكن ليس لها خلفية علمية لاستعمال الكمبيوتر واستعمال الإنترنت، فهذه هي مشكلة. ولا نريد أن تصل هي في نفسها أن هذا حجاب جعلها متخلفة عن صديقتها غير متحجبة التي تعيش في جوارها في وسط أوروبا. نسعى ودائما نتكلم لأن مسلم لا يجب أن يكون أقل قيمة من غير مسلم. فأنا لا أريد أن أخذ أكثر من وقتكم، فجزاكم الله عنا كل الخير وشكرا لكم وجزاكم الله خير الدنيا والآخرة.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Eminence, Dr. Anwar Gitsis, Dean of the College of Islamic Studies in Serbia in Balkans, and thank you for your speech. And I would like to inform you that the UAE, thanks God, we are living here and we are blessed, and technological infrastructure here has been very much developed. And when the pandemic broke out, we continue with the online learning using different platforms, and the process of education did not stop and still going on. So this is a blessing that we have here. And I nominate the UAE and its universities to adopt this idea, because this country, with its infrastructures and personnel and coordination, it can withstand and achieve such projects that will benefit Islamic societies all over the world. Thank you again. Now I will move to Dr. Rania Ahmed Hamid Al-Ambaabi from Africa World University in Sudan. I hope she is with us. She will be talking in this speech on the educational trends in educating youngsters on values. Dr. Anya, can you hear me?
إذا تعسر عليها سننتقل إليه فيما بعد حتى.
So if it's not possible, we'll move to Dr. Amin Mohammed Sidi from Sheikh Mohammed University, Amin Shanqiti in Mauritania. Can you hear me? Yes, Doctor. So just to make sure we don't waste time, you were supposed to be the fifth one according to the order that we have, but just to make sure we don't lose time, we'll move you forward and we'll give later the speech to Dr. Anya. Dr. Amin Sidi is going to talk to us about the intellectual movement and its influence on higher education. And he took as example Mauritania, University Mohammed al-Shanqiti in Mauritania is one of the pioneering universities in Mauritania. So I salute you. You're in Mauritania, the country of a million poets, and extend our wishes to the people of Mauritania and wish you good luck. And you have 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Doctor. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and peace be on the Prophet and his companion. And I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Al-Naimi and President of the World Muslim Communities Council, and Dr. Osama Al-Abd, Secretary General of the League of Islamic Universities, and all the organizers of this conference for their efforts to make sure that this conference will be successful. I would like to thank Dr. Ahmed Subahi and all the doctors and participants at this university. I will share with you this speech, the role of intellectual movement and the impact on higher education. And I took Mauritania as an example. In 2 chapters and 4 paragraphs, I tackled the emergence of Mauritania and the creation of higher education and the intellectual movement, the impact on higher education and higher education institution, and the impact of intellectual movement. Education is one of the most important elements in life, and it's the reason of change in life. This is why taking care of education is something very important, and those who provide it are very important people, and they can shape social and economic life. So it's one of the domains that we need to focus on and develop, and we can make sure a country is developed through education. And this is what we are going to see through this paper. The intellectual movement will always try to give some impact on society. So we're going to look how there's an impact on higher education. We are going to see how there can be a negative impact on minds through the ways education is done in university. And we are doing a comparative study between Islamic universities and other universities, and how the faculty members and the curriculums can affect the minds of students. And the scientific council would take a decision regarding the curriculum. And it has a role for evaluating the faculty members and the curriculum. We're going to tackle the institution of higher education as a role model. And that will be done in 2 chapters. Before tackling the impact of intellectual movement on education, I would like to give you some information about Mauritania and higher education. The Islamic Republic of Mauritania is one of the countries of the Maghreb, and it is located in the western side of the Atlantic, and it's bordered by Arab and African countries, and it's made of Arabs and Africans, and its population is around 3.5 million inhabitants. The economy of Mauritania is based on gold, copper, fishing. Mauritania, like many other Arab Islamic countries, was colonized by France in 1956, and it became Nouakchott became independent in 1958. Islamic Republic of Mauritania was announced, then the Mauritanian army was built, and then Mauritania became independent, and Mokhtar Ould Daddah became the first president of Mauritania. And so the Islamic Republic of Mauritania was established and became part of the international community, and different agencies of the country were established, and education was assigned to the Ministry of Education. and we'll tackle that later. Higher education started with the establishment of a College of Education, of College of Administration, 1966. And it was followed by two institutes of higher of education, and then started the process of higher education institute establishment, and many followed. University of Nouakchott, and it has 4 colleges: College of Legal and Economic Sciences, College of Medicine, College of Technical Sciences, the College of Islamic Sciences. It has 3 colleges: College of Arabic Language and Human Science, College of Sharia. Besides 4 institutes across the country, like Hadrami Institute, Institute Abdullah bin Yassin. And we are going to tackle these institutions later in detail to explain the roles they have played in facing the intellectual movement. In the second chapter, higher institution were established based on the law of higher education to respect the guidelines of Islam, respect the principles of tolerance and freedom of thought and creativity, while sticking to the academic rules of accuracy and integrity, equality of opportunities between different citizens for access to knowledge. And we can see that the law made sure that those values were included in order to instill them, and the legislator wanted to instill those values among the youngsters to make sure that they will not end up being extremists. So those values were inserted given the situation all over the world to make sure that they will go in line with the modern times. The law also stipulated that knowledge should be provided in Arabic language, and foreign languages should be used whenever there is a need, while respecting the Arabic language. So from the different texts, higher education has set up a specific methodology for education and has used it as a priority, intellectual movement and the curriculum. Mauritania was like many other countries. It had political parties that belonged to different thought movements, which have some impact on education. And it has caused instability. And Mauritania has different projects and managed to control such a project by establishing a project that are specialized, and this is what we will tackle in the next part. The thought movement were established from political parties which aimed to have some impact on society. And this kind of thought could have an impact, and belonging to movement is something known in Mauritania. So presentation should be done through political parties, and those parties are Muslim Brotherhood, and Muslim Brotherhood in Mauritania represents a movement, and this party seeks to establish the principles of Muslim Brotherhood. And Mauritania doesn't have a law that would classify this type of movement. This party was established in 2007 and said there has to be a structure for it. And it said that it has to be in the capital, Mauritania. So the political party was based on the principles of Muslim Brotherhood and started spreading its knowledge. The Salafist movement in Mauritania has established a political party in 2014, seeking to enter the political arena, and this is what different thought movements are seeking to achieve in Mauritania, and they try to do that through political channels. and the head of the institute has explained how it is conducted. And he used that book as one of the books of the curriculum, and that was the reason of the spreading of the Salafist movement. Political parties in Mauritania who started following the thoughts of the party of the government. And there was also the French-speaking movement, which seeks to spread the French culture, and this has led to weakness of education at higher education institution in Mauritania, and the teaching in higher education has been adopted in French language, and this was against the higher education regulation, and this was provided that Arabic language should be the official language of the country, and some of the members of this movement were influential in the country. Mauritania has managed to avoid the negative impacts due to those movements. Sorry, you have exceeded the time allocated to you with 2 minutes. You can move to the recommendations. At the end of this speech, we can conclude the scientific committee of the university is responsible for the curriculum, and faculty members should be selected from the new generation who are aware of the new modes of education and possibility of impacting the students by instilling good values in them, and this should be suitable with the policies of the university. Necessity to change the scientific committee every 8 years as a maximum, and changing the curriculum, changing the modes of teaching, selecting faculty members who do not belong to some thought movement. And thank you, Doctor, for your patience. And thank you to different doctors and all the organizers of this conference, and wish luck to everyone. Thank you, Dr. Amin Mohammed Sidi from University Sheikh Mohammed Al Amin Shanqit. And his paper was the intellectual movement and its impact on higher education, Mauritania as an example. He spoke about different intellectual movements, and we know that people of Mauritania is people who learn Quran by heart in this country of poets, and we ask Almighty God to protect Mauritania and all the Muslims of the world. Thank you, Doctor. Now I will move to Dr. Ania Ahmed Hamid Al-Omani. I hope I have pronounced her name correctly. Is the doctor with us? Dr. Ania.
الو السلام عليكم دكتورة رانيا.
Dr. Ania, assalamu alaikum.
دكتورة رانيا.
Dr. Ania.
الو السلام عليكم دكتورة رانيا، تسمعينني؟
السلام عليكم Dr. Ania, can you hear me?
ربما فيه مشكلة.
Maybe there's a technical issue. So we'll move it to the next session. So I will conclude this session, and I ask success from Almighty God to all of you, and I'd like to thank His Excellency Dr. Amani Lubis from University Sharif Hidayatullah in Indonesia, and I would like to thank Excellency Dr. Abi Al-Fadawi, professor at the University of Human Sciences in Abad, and I thank also His Excellency Dr. Anwar Yildiz, Dean of the College of Islamic Studies in Serbia, and thank you, Dr. Amin Mohammed Sidi, the University Sheikh Amin Mohammed Mauritania, and I apologize to His Excellency Dr. Ania Ahmed Hamid, Ahmed Abi from University, World African University in Sudan, and wish you success. And we'll move to the next session. So
وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله.
Peace be on God. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you for your efforts. And best would be your efforts. Thank you.
أحيل الكلمة إلى اللجنة المنظمة.
Give the floor to the organizing committee. I don't know if we have with us Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Bishai.
الكلمة للدكتورة وداد نائبي.
Give the floor to Dr. Give the floor to Dr. Widad Naimi from Ibn Battuta Institute in Benin in the session of enhancing values in curriculum. Is she with us?
Available. Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
مجراها ومرساها. بسم الله وعلى بركة الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله.
With all the blessings on Prophet Muhammad, the head of the council, the secretary of the council, the head of Jakarta University, the head of Al-Fatah University in Syria, the secretary of the council, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I would like to thank the Muslim Community Council for this initiative that we can see it on the ground. And also I would like to thank you for this confidence in us and what you assigned us of work. Thank you very much again. And we pray to Allah to praise our work. In this session, I will speak about how to strengthen the system, the value system. And we have got the 3 participants, each one 10 minutes, as in the previous session. We will start first, Bismillah. The first one, Dr. Yahya Tahir from Algeria. He will speak to us about how to strengthen the positive values in university education.
تفضل يا دكتور.
Floor is yours, Doctor.
دكتور يحيى طاهر.
Dr. Yahya, can you hear me?
دكتور يحيى هل أنت معي؟
Dr. Yahya, can you hear me?
طيب ربما ننتقل إلى المداخلة.
We move to the second one.
مداخلة يشترك فيه
And here
عدة أطراف.
we have different participants. We have got Dr. Huwaida Ahmed Qasim Al-Khatib and Dr. Faraz Ali Shiab from Al Yarmouk University and Ministry of Education in Jordan. They will speak to us about the university violence and how it's related
تفضلوا على
to
بركة
that.
الله.
Floor is yours, sir.
عدة أطراف الدكتورة هويدا أحمد قاسم الخطيب ودكتور فراس علي السيد الشياب من جامعة اليرموك ووزارة التربية الأردن.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
مداخلة ببحث بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلاقته بمنظومة القيم في المدرسة دراسة ميدانية. تفضلوا على بركة الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
مداخلة يشترك فيه عدة أطراف الدكتورة هويدا أحمد قاسم الخطيب ودكتور فراس علي السيد الشياب.
Apologizing, I can't hear the speaker.
ببحث بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلاقته بمنظومة القيم في المدرسة دراسة ميدانية. تفضلوا على بركة الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مداخلة يشترك فيه عدة أطراف الدكتورة هويدا أحمد قاسم الخطيب ودكتور فراس علي السيد الشياب من جامعة اليرموك ووزارة التربية الأردن. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مداخلة ببحث بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلاقته بمنظومة القيم في المدرسة دراسة ميدانية. تفضلوا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مداخلة يشترك فيه الدكتور هويدا.
في تداخل في الأصوات.
There is sound intervention, Dr. Wadad. Sound overlapping. I closed the microphone. I don't know exactly what happened.
تفضلوا بسم الله.
Bismillah, go ahead.
السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum.
تفضلوا بسم الله.
Can you hear me?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عنوان بحثنا.
The topic of our research that we would like to participate, and I would like first to ask the organizer, we will talk about the university violence and the relation with the school values, field study, and
السلام عليكم. تفضلوا بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عنوان بحثنا الذي شاركنا فيه في هذا المؤتمر الطيب الذي أشكر فيه منظمين جاء بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلاقته بمنظومة القيم في المدرسة دراسة ميدانية، وذلك مشاركة في هذا المؤتمر. السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. تفضلوا بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عنوان بحثنا الذي شاركنا فيه في هذا المؤتمر الطيب الذي أشكر فيه منظمين جاء بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلاقته بمنظومة القيم في المدرسة دراسة ميدانية، وذلك مشاركة في هذا المؤتمر. السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. تفضلوا بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هناك تداخل في الأصوات، لا أدري ما هو.
sound overlapping. Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. We wanted to participate with you and to add to the value system which you mentioned in the conference. The summary. There's sound overlapping. This research is talking about Sorry, there is sound overlapping, so I can't translate.
خلاص، هل تسمع من بث مباشر على الفيسبوك أو يوتيوب؟
الصوت لحظة أتأكد. يأتي هذا البحث بعنوان العنف الجامعي وعلى طبعا مشاركة مني في هذا المؤتمر الطيبي أهله. كيف الآن؟
نعم، الآن ممتاز.
بسم الله. أنا أعتذر بداية ربما حدث خلل من عندي من جهة أخرى لا أدري.
First, I would like to apologize to you all. So the topic here is about the university violence and related to the school values. So it's a study for the violence and how the students in the school receive a set of values, negative or positive, without any way to deal with it in order to remedy these values, in order to have integration with the positive integration for students and also to solve any problem within the student before he enters the university. Also, it's targeting to shape the character of the good citizen, to building himself and also his community to be protected from the different issues, and also to find the relationship between the violence in the university and pre-university. And also we did a cooperation between university teachers and also school teachers. And for the results, we found an increase in the positive, in the negative behavior in the university and in school. Reading the numbers from the surveys and analyze it, that will indicate the type of relationship. We need to reconstruct the values in the school and also to reshape the curriculum in order to shape the values in a clear way and to make it a priority for schools and universities. Also, to focus on the participation in the university, dedicating some plans from the specialty in the university and in the faculties to strengthen the positive values and also to deal with that in all aspects, to measure the aspects of the behavioral program that we suggested in order to elevate the values. And the percentage improvement percentage is 61%. We divided students in this program to two sectors, where there is weekly behavioral violation, group 1, and group 2, we make it less from 1 to 2 violence, and we have seen 66 violence per week, and 18 for a violation for the second group. We notice there is a decrease from 66 to 29, and the second group from 12 to 6. And this graph explains that. Also in the results, we have seen indicators of success, as we have seen. Also the study samples, when we analyzed the reasons and we found the solutions in a good way, the study found that many reasons is related to out of control for students and can be elevated by following up, and that interpret how that can be decreased on a weekly basis. The language and also the law that also help how we can solve the stress in the age group. So flexibility and communication is very important to strengthen the language of cooperation and conversation, and also strengthen the mechanism of change toward positive behavior. Student can be a victim of external or internal circumstances. So the school is the best place to help him. School environment can help in that without satisfying his psychological or physical requirement and not understanding his age group. Also, the schedule maybe is not that doesn't fit with the student. The psychology of teacher also has got impact with the lack of methodologies. So we need to have facilities in each school in order to deal with the students' power, dedicate the last 2 periods in order to play the targeted play, and also to manage the different issues within students. Communication and direct collaboration is very important. To have a support team from teachers that help in minimizing the problems in their behaviors, and also to have the guiding teacher who will look after the student or a group of students. That also very useful in solving these problem. Recommendations to find department to train the teachers about the field research and dealing with the different universities on the scientific research. And it's also suggested that Ministry of Education, they can find department to look after this event in each directorate, and to find a dedicated team to also build a hall or gymnasium for multi-purposes. Any change, the success of it, we need a team that work on a scientific with team spirit and to focus on the humanitarian aspects with their trends, and to work on finding the solution psychologically and also physically. Very important to document any problem from a person or a group, to find behavioral programs like this one that we suggested in order to benefit from, and to have a dedicated teacher to follow up on after the training course, to look after students' problem in addition to their gifts and talents and solving their problems if they have. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for respecting time also. Very useful participation, and this research, we need to put it on the outcome of this conference, especially when you connected the behavior in the schools with the university. And I think the solution for the issue of values, we need to refer back to the start, because it's a series and there is connections between the different educational stages. Thank you very much for this work. Thank you very much, Dr. Widad. Now we move to Dr. Ben Taher about how to strengthen positive values in the university, tolerance, and the importance of tolerance. Thank you, Dr. Widad, and I apologize for being late. I'm really honored to be with you today, especially when we talk about the positive values in the university. And here I will share with you this idea how to inaugurate these values in our communities, especially in the university education, because it's the gate to enter the real life. And as you know, value is part of our culture set in life. So values is an important factor in that, especially when shaping the character of people. So people look at the community by what values they have. For that, we have seen a lot of people how they deal with that, and how in the university and schools, especially when we deal with the teacher and how the teacher integrates that. These values, they are available, but we need to strengthen it. And also to make it clearer, especially when we talk about the value of a human being, because he is represented in his values and how the human being, they are dealing with each other. And this is the base of successful life, of happy life, and even straight life, especially when people stick to their values. And here, tolerance is very important. And also when people are tolerant with others, especially when dealing with that. So if we speak about what's included in the Holy Quran, we will find the values is mentioned in singular and plural. In the Holy Quran, it's mentioned ذلك الدين القيم. So it's according to the curriculum that Allah interpreted in the Holy Quran. So Allah spoke about the creation of land and skies and how that is related to the values. And it's related to the whole universe. And when he also said in the Holy Quran, ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. So when you know that there is only one God in this universe, this is one value important in the whole universe, and it's mentioned in the Holy Quran, especially when Muhammad, peace be upon him, dealt with a human being. And once a day there was a funeral, and Prophet Muhammad stood up, and people, his companions, surprised, why you are standing? He is from the Jews. But he said he is a human being. So these values that we are missing in our real life, in our relationship between each other, it's very important to have these shared common values. And also where the Islam brought it. And when Allah said ذلك الدين القيم, so a human being will not have a good life without sticking to this religion, as it's a valued one and will make us away from the negativeness and from carelessness in all our ways. So it's very important to stick to it according to the correct understanding that the Holy Quran is based. As many authors talk that Allah, when He created the Holy Quran is built on there is one God. And for that, it's built on the human being. There is the same values for the whole human being, and they are going back to the same core center for that, the same from the origin. And for that, the whole human being, they are brothers. For that, we need to deal with each other in a good way, regardless of the different languages, different colors. It's all miracles for Allah in this universe. So Allah ordered Prophet Muhammad to stick to this religion and mentioned ذلك الدين القيم. Most people, they don't know these values. So we need to purify these values within a human being. And for that, there was invitation from Allah to worship Him alone, and also for Prophet Muhammad to stick to these values and this religion. We will mention the characteristics of these values. The first one, and I will share with it. We need to have an accumulative study from grade 1 till university, because integrating these values is not easy in the university. And the student from the start, or the child, he needs from his family to have them core values, and in the university that will be developed and strengthened to have stability in the university. So values are stable, and this is important for the generation. There's no human being can change a value all of a sudden. This should be stable and active about how to creating ideas and also to guide the emotions and even to have discipline. So all what we are doing is stemmed out from these values, from positive values. That will make a human being active, also a good thinker, and also a good citizen in the community. So stability, active, and also integration. This is a total integrative system. Values integrate together. The value of tolerance, also the value integrate together. Human beings, they can't separate these values. It's very important for education to deal with it. And also, there's a civilized mission for education as it's inaugurate that and help how to deal with these values, as we mentioned. How we can strengthen these values? It's available, especially if the student in the university, he has got a set of these values. The role of the teacher and the role of the university and even the curriculum to strengthen and emphasize these values, to be more stronger and stronger in the community and to be more active. If you look and see university, the teacher in front of these students, he should feel that he should strengthen their values. The teacher will not be able to strengthen these values within students. First, he needs to be a model for the students. That will have great impact. First, he needs to understand that. Thank you very much for your participation. Time? Yes. Yes, doctor. Unfortunately, time is running. Can you please move ahead to the recommendation? Or you are in recommendation now? I am in recommendation. Thank you very much. Time is up. So value is built according to a system. There is a core value. And we need to focus on these core values, which the whole Quran mentioned. so we can build it properly. I wish you all the best. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. دكتور يحيى طاهر.
الحديث عن الحركة الكون برمته وربط ذلك بالقيم وخاصة عندما نتحدث عن قيم التسامح.
When we talk about tolerance values, and I can tell you that in Benin we have a diversified society in religion and others. So when the student is equipped with the value of tolerance, we can like that apply all the principles of citizenship and all the values, invite people to live peacefully and as God wants us to live. So thank you for your speech and wish you more knowledge, more success. So we'll move now directly from Algeria. We go to Morocco with a research from Dr. Fatima Husseini entitled Educational Curriculum and Challenges of Education on Values in the Era of Digital World. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Can I share my screen with you?
الجهة المنظمة هل لك اليد في
مرحبا
بعض
دكتورة فاطمة.
الجهة تعطينا أنه يمكن أن
Hello, Dr. Fatima.
يمكن تقاسم الشاشة من عندك دكتورة فاطمة.
Dr. Fatima, you can share the screen from your side.
نعم.
Is it clear?
هل يظهر العرض الآن؟
Can you see my presentation? Can you see my presentation? No. No.
فلم يظهر لنا بعد.
الآن واضح أستاذ، الآن واضح.
Now we can see it. You can go ahead.
على بركة الله. بداية جزيل الشكر والتقدير لمعالي
I would like to thank Dr. Naimi, the President of the World Muslim Communities Council, and also His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Bashari, Secretary General of the Council, Excellencies, the scholars, and the Chairman of the session and Chairwoman of the session, and all those working at the World Muslim Communities Council. I extend my best wishes to you from Rabat, Morocco. In my presentation of this conference on the system of values in university education towards a new vision to reform education, I would like to start with the verses of God when He says, be faithful and be just and fair, and don't try to give knowledge in what you have no knowledge in, and don't be boastful while you are walking on the ground. And Al-Mahdi al-Manja, the scholar, had said the respect of the values of the others is a sine qua non condition for understanding the values of the universe that allow us to facilitate communication between the people instead of adapting to a universal tradition that are fabricated and concise in time and time. And Gandhi said, I open my windows to the winds of the world without it uprooting me from the ground. And the poet Ahmed Shawqi said that nations are ethics. Without ethics, they are gone. So we are going to tackle a problematic which says that the equation of values in the time of globalization and the pandemic and Islamophobia and the international conflicts and what happens through the social media, such as programs and the movies and advertisements that carry messages and pictures that go against our traditions and aim to weaken the bonds of our religion and language and ethics in the absence of any barriers on the impact on our generation. This has contributed in staying away from the noble values, and we have seen an increasing number of attitudes that go against the good values in the absence of criteria and support to correct those paths. And we have seen the glitches that were revealed by the remote learning that took place in the context of COVID-19 and its negative impact on education, especially what is linked to continuation of the traditional teaching based on learning by heart and repeating and copying all those traditional ways instead of learning based on skills and critical thinking and self-learning and creativity in production. And this dangerous situation we are witnessing now is producing waves of extremism and violence in different parts of the world in the last 50 countries, 50 years since some religious organizations have adopted a different approach for change, which made us question this education. And if experiences of a form of education in most Islamic countries have found an approach to this topic, but it did not achieve what could lead to a holistic development. So where's the glitch in our educational system? What about university education? And what about during pandemic education, post-pandemic education? And how can we end the sources of such extremism and violence? And how can we build pillars for education on such values? How can the students be adopting Islamic values and adopting values of civilization and aware of the comprehensiveness of those values, and at the same time open to the achievements of the modern world, and at the same time saturated with love of his homeland and his civilization and the duties and the responsibilities and the commonalities of these values. we see that the spread of cheating among different sectors of societies has exhausted different sectors of society and made the university like a medium for adopting and producing negative values, and it led to the actors of education being in the worst situation. And the question remains to be asked: what do we want from the university, and how can we achieve that equation of having values instilled among the students? So we should not be just spectators of this situation, which would lead to only getting deeper and deeper in the realm of failure and those distractions of the values. So we have two issues, and first of all, interference of the theory, and we've seen the opposite of that discourse of the theory in the practice. So we have theories of projects that would be based on values, but in the practice, we don't see any implementation of that discourse.
عزيزتي دكتورة، بقي أقل من دقيقة. لو ذهبت مباشرة إلى التوصيات بارك الله فيك. دكتورة؟
وهي باسم الحرية.
In the name of freedom of expression. In this context, we should mention that the function of education is now more complicated, especially after what happened with the globalization and development of communication tools and what it conveys in the name of globalization. So there is a crisis of values in the system of ethics. And if we can say that education is important, we need to look at different challenges that are the foundation of the system of values. They exist in our Islamic society, as I can see it in the picture in front of you, is the system. It looks like a tree with branches, ethics and behavior, and the fruits are those concepts that are the foundation pillars of the Islamic system, and they are constant values in time, and they change in time. Thank you, Doctor. Excuse me, I will move directly to the conclusion. The requirements of change and online learning during the pandemics at the level of the role of the university and the engineering of education and the quality of education in the digital context and the level of education research and the level of values and preparation of reference that would be used to measure the curriculums on education and diagnosing the situation and the different alternatives. But for the changes, the variation, they are different, as you can see from this picture, and the diversity of the values, we need to take it into consideration, and we should look at it differently within the form of those values. Among the recommendations, speaking of values, it should happen within a common human project, and I think that the project in which the World Muslim Communities Council is an important project and is leading in this field. Thank you. Thank you. And excuse me just 1 second, and adopting the continuous presence of the mind and the critical thinking and practice as values, knowledge that will be beneficial and good deeds, and developing digital knowledge as main inputs for education and building Islamic personalities for the current and the future generation. Last conclusion is launching a research center on values in collaboration with the World Muslim Communities Council. Like God says, you work and God and his followers will see what you did. Thank you for your patience, and I wish good luck to everyone. Peace be upon you.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أعذريني دكتورة، نحن مرتبطين بالوقت.
Sorry, doctor, but we are limited in time, and thank you. I think we have reached the time where we need to be very strict and not give up on those values, but those values. Those values are the bloodline for all the values that bond us together. We'll move to the research named System of Values in Education with Dr. Ahmed Sabihi and Dr. Fatima Awaqi from American University in Dubai and Sharjah University.
بسم الله دكتور.
You can start, doctor.
دكتور ممكن تفتح المايك من عندك لأن نحن أنا
maybe you need to unmute your microphone because I cannot hear you. We have your screen, but we cannot hear you.
دكتور أحمد، نحن لا نسمع.
Dr. Ahmed, we cannot hear you.
دكتور أحمد شغل المايك لو سمحت.
Dr. Ahmed, please unmute your microphone.
ما زال يا دكتور.
We can't hear you yet.
دكتور؟ أو ممكن ننتقل إلى الدكتورة ثم نعود إليكم إذا كان هناك مشكلة في المايك.
Maybe, or if you have some issues, I think he's with us now. He logged in from a different account. Peace be upon you. We can hear you now. Thanks God. I'm very sorry. Very sorry for this technical issue. We'll continue now, and I'm very sorry for the time we have wasted. I'm using my phone for the audio.
ممكن تغلق الصوت في الكمبيوتر لأنه الصوت.
Maybe you can close the audio on the computer because we hear the echo. How is it now? It's good. Thank you for your help, and thank you for your patience. And I hope I can deliver my presentation, and that will be beneficial. First of all, I thank Almighty God for having facilitated things for us and guided us to its righteous path. In the name of God, there is nothing difficult that you wouldn't have made it easier. In fact, the subject is a big issue, the system of values in university education. This is a big issue that I cannot tackle in 10 minutes. So I will try to summarize as much as possible so I can convey the main idea. The topic actually is the position of American college in Dubai from some educational values in UAE society. This is a field study, and this paper was prepared by myself and Dr. Fatima Al-Zawahiri from Sharjah University. I took three values of education: value of time, value of knowledge, and value of withstanding. Like the Prophet Muhammad said, honesty leads to good deeds, and good deeds leads to paradise. And the man who is honest would be a noble man, and lying would lead to committing sins, and committing sins lead to fire and hell. So the negative values, we know there are positive values. We try to avoid the negative values and to instill positive values in the souls of our children. As you can see in the survey, we have the value of time, value of responsibility. We have 55 students, males and females. The university has males and females and different specialties. And the result, as you can see, when we ask them the first question, do you consider time important for your university studies? The result showed that 26 out of 54 students, almost 48%, agreed totally, and 28 out of 54, almost 51%, agreed to that. This explains that the civilizational value of time is respected by the Muslim, and he is part, that is part of the personality of the students of the college, American college in Dubai, who were raised according to the principles of Islam and the culture of the UAE. When we move to the second question,
فكانت النتائج كما تلاحظون.
Do you invest your time in a better way at university, at school, and at home? We had 15 strongly agree, 35 agree, 3 disagree, and 1 strongly disagree. So if you want to analyze this question or this result, we can find that the students are aware and are organizing their time in a balanced way. This is something positive for the American College of Dubai. When we move to the third question, same thing for time. I put 5 questions for time, 5 questions for the value of knowledge, 5 questions for the value of being responsible. I'm running out of time, but I'm trying to give some examples. We cannot see all the results. So if we look at the value of knowledge, when we ask them, do you expand your knowledge by constantly reading? The result were that 43% agree and 11% disagree. What does that mean? It means that most students of the American College in Dubai are expanding their knowledge by constantly reading, and the others, they disagree because they are busy with their work. Which means that there are students who have jobs, and in the evening they have classes. So that makes it difficult for them to continue reading when they have time, for the reason I mentioned. For the issue of buying books or using paper-based or electronic books, I asked them that question, and the result were like here I had 18% strongly agree, 31 agree, 5% disagree. What does that mean? It means that most students of American College in Dubai, which is 49 students, almost 90% students, they surf the internet for their studies and the research on a daily basis, while 9.26% they surf internet, but not on a daily basis. I will move directly to the value of responsibility, and I will take 2 examples because I don't have much time to tackle all of them, but you will have this research published and you can benefit from it if you want. When I ask them this question, which is problematic, do you write research lying on yourself without seeking help from someone else? Because there is a phenomenon that some students go and buy researches from some places like stationery. So I asked them this question, wanted to know if they do the research by themselves, or do they take research that's already made? So 21 students strongly agree. What does that mean? It means that they rely on themselves, while the results show that 27 out of 55 disagree and 7 out of 55 strongly disagree. This means that 87% they do the research by themselves without seeking help from anybody else, while 12% they rely on others in doing the research because they are busy with their jobs and don't have enough time to do the scientific assignment. Dr. Ahmed Sabehi, you have 1 minute because there is not much time left. I will move directly to the results.
والرؤى
the conclusions and the vision.
التدريس الجامعي يتعرض إلى
University education is facing many obstacles, including the lack of confidence in higher education institutions, given the attacks that they are facing on internet, and this requires additional efforts from the teacher himself. The second thing is activating the whole of the university with the faculty members in different departments, so its message would be more influential. The second conclusion is to insert the values of education in the curriculum of the university, so that they would be instilled in the students automatically. The fourth recommendation is to focus on education in curriculum and spreading them among students indirectly, which is by giving examples. The other recommendation, enhancing the role of Islamic education in promoting Islamic values through conferences and educational program. Another recommendation, preparing databases and library with different knowledge sources and encouraging students to learn. And another recommendation, giving the student the opportunity to set up his own calendar of studies and select the curriculum, and this will make him familiar to organize his time and looking for a job for the student to benefit and use his time at university. And last one, to involve students in the university committee and to contribute in conferences, and will be more responsible. And thank you for listening, and peace be upon you.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. شكرا لكم دكتور أحمد.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed Sabihi, for this work between you and Dr. Fatima. And definitely we need to find commonalities for applying these values, and there's conformity between what they do and what they will achieve as outcomes, and will follow your path and we will implement that at higher education. I will move directly to Dr. Rania Hamid Ahmed from African World University in Sudan, with research on the current trends in education of values.
تفضلي يا دكتورة. لا نسمعك. افتح المايك لو سمحتي.
We cannot hear you.
السلام عليكم.
Peace be upon you. You have the floor, Doctor.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Peace be upon you. For the value of education for reform, and it's not limited only.
القيم الإسلامية والأخلاقية عبر أساتذة أدلة.
And also the values has got a great opportunity in developing the community, especially within the different stages and also in their life. This study focused on the modern educational trends and how to teach curriculum through values. And within these ones, developing the teacher, sorry, I can't hear the speaker. Especially in the educational curriculum. So using technology is very important. Also using live forecasting. Sorry, I can't hear the speaker. Doctor, Doctor, can you hear me? Can the organizers hear you? Can you hear me now? Yes, we can. Yes, doctor. Also, from the modern trends, we talk about the path that a human being used life, because it's, as we know, education is preparing person for life. So now we in the field of technology. For that, we need to focus about the quality of education, as it is an investment with a great return if we guide it in a good way. And for that, we need to have educational planning for teacher, curriculum, and the students. We need also to focus on methodologies, teacher guide, also school books. It's very important for the social values and also the humanitarian relationship in the community. Also values protect the Islamic identity for the generation. And here we focus on the values as an indicator for civilization. And that can be found in the community about how to deal, how to live in the community. In these different curriculum that focus on the school, because it's focus on the different trends. So using it in the curriculum, it helps the students to shape his life. And so it's protecting it from going to bad trends in his life and take good decision in the community, to protect the solidarity in the community, and also it guides the behavior. Also, it plays a vital role in developing this community. In the school, it guides the correct behavior, it builds the charisma, and also the avoiding conflicts. For the major framework for values, dealing with values from scientific approach, we need to make sure that we have correct trends to acquire it in a good way, which is values, and convincing the person to follow these values, and that can be convinced and not taught, or even by leading by example. So values, building the communities, it's very important in believing. So the good model that can give that, as Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he is our role model. For that, we follow his sunnah. At the end, laying these values in the curriculum has got different ways. And the role of teacher, student, and even the administration is very important to have integration and to have a common ground. Education is a way to build generations and to develop himself and develop the others. Also, the research focus on the modern trends about the curriculum and how we focus on that. Recommendation, we need to pay special attention to curriculum and to focus on the students with development of the curriculum to be modern and also to have them Islamic values. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Rania from Africa University for these trends in modern education. And I see through the unity of a human being. And this is the main indicator for the interest of all. We need to have these values in mind in order to go along with technology, even though there is moral retardedness. Thank you very much for your participation. I would like to finish this session, the second session, with this nice participation from Dr. Yahya Tahir from Algeria and Dr. Firas Ali Said from Jordan and Dr. Fadman Husseini from Morocco and Ahmed Sabahi from UAE, from Dubai, from American College and University, and Dr. Rania from Sudan. And definitely at the end, we see that peace and these values raise the awareness and our determination to change the current reality, which we are responsible about. And definitely that's what we are working at, and hopefully we were able to add something, because it's a huge field to study, and we need more and more time to expand and to get to the end outcomes in order to go along with all the institutions and universities where there's values, the main core, and we find impact for moral and values. Thank you very much for the Muslim Community Council for this chance to exchange and to listen and hear from each other and share experiences from all over the world. Thank you very much.
ونرجو من الله سبحانه وتعالى يتقبلها منا وييسر لنا ما بقي من أعمال إنه سميع عليم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
دكتور أنور موجود؟
دكتور أنور available?
موجود.
Yes, available.
نبدأ.
Should we start? Yes.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبالقرآن كتابا وبمحمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا وبعد. نرحب بدكاترة فاضل في جلستنا الثالثة.
Our dear doctors in this third session.
باقة علمية من الأساتذة.
They are unique.
من جامعات مرموقة الذين
يشاركون في هذه الجلسة.
أول مشارك سيكون فضيلة الدكتورة
نفيسة دكتور دويدة،
أستاذ التعليم العالي المدرسة العليا للأساتذة في الجزائر
from Algeria.
تشارك بعنوان بحثها
her
إصلاح
topic
التعليم العالي
reform for higher education
تجربة مدرسة
under a set of values.
وليك النموذج. الدكتورة نفيسة موجودة معنا؟
دكتور نفيسة, are you available?
دكتورة نفيسة؟
دكتور نفيسة, are you available? Can you hear me?
أنا أسمعك. تفضلي.
Yes, go ahead please. The floor is yours. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellencies, dear guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm really honored today to be with you, and I would like to present my gratitude to all the participants and organizers, wishing all the best. I will talk about the higher education reform and our values, and will speak about experience of Al-Zahra School and Al-Iqra Model School as a model for that. The problem of this study is based, we tried to study the education resource reform under values based on the Indian experience, Al-Iqra, who was school established by Ali Khan, which is an Islamic model school, and the second one is Al-Zahra in Turkey, and the followers of it, they are an important sector the Islamic values in the university. And we would like to speak about the centralism of values in the educational values. I divided to 3 elements. The first one, defining the values and the importance. The second one, the set of values, and after that, the reform of education within this value that I mentioned by these 2 experiences and how it can be used in the current situation. After that, assessment and recommendation. Quickly, value is the governing rules for a human being and standards, stable ones, and the principle that is measuring our act in the community. The importance is like the scale that maintain the stability of the community, and that can be seen in different impressions and also in different ideas. This negotiation took a long time within the different thinkers and educators, and there was big emphasis on reforming the person and the community by different variation from the religion aspect and even the community. So it's considered the backbone for any reform or any community reform, especially for the different projects. So Islam with its central human dimension, it's very important when we talk about these values. And the message of Islam is based on these different dimensions. When I speak about these different experiences, talking about the educational reform, and also it has got positive impact, which we can benefit from it according to the current situation. So these experiences, many experiences, but according to what we noted, it hasn't led to a great reform and hasn't achieved the minimum outcome because of these development and intellectual development as some countries achieved or they try to achieve, and I will not mention these countries. So dealing with this sector is very important, and we need to continue focusing on it in different development sectors in the educational, social, community, and when we talk about these ideas, it's about focusing on the different systems and about the current reality. It's very important for the first one, the Indian school, which Ahmad Khan established in his school, Aligra School. It used to be named Al-Kulliyya Al-Muhammadiyya Al-Ingliziyya Al-Sharqiyya and was based in 1975. This school was a modern school with an Islamic touch. And it was a challenge during that time because of the different elements on the different ways and the different shapes. So it's considered a modern school as a modern one, and also it has got its Islamic pattern. And till today, it's very unique, which graduating thousands of students, and it's globally appreciated academically and also. And Mr. Khan, I witnessed his speech when he say, Muslims, please put Holy Quran in your heart, and you can go and focus on what you are doing. And if the world is not appreciating that, we need to focus on what's benefit or useful for us. So he tried to establish the education according to the Islamic print, where he say, look at England, and with its education, I would like also to mention a summary of the second experience, Saeed al-Nursi from Al-Zahra Turkish school. It was difficult at the start of the 20th century, where there was different trends. So this project came to establish for a school or an organization which is a model, and sometimes compete with Al-Azhar because of its role in protecting Africa Islam in general. So the project is mixing between the modern and between the different ones. This is a formula which is a successful formula, and as Aisha al-Mu'mineen said, and focusing on the morals of the Holy Quran. So the focus of that is very important from raising awareness. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. 1 minute. 2 minutes, please. As I said, these two experiences focusing on moral education in the university, and also how to make reform about this educational system. It's difficult when we talk about this without referring back to the outcomes in the higher education. And it has different factors that impact them. So we need to work on the central values and to work together by initiatives. I will move straight away to the recommendations. We need another webinar to talk about the importance of values, to emphasize on the importance of the different systems, and also about the curriculum we need to adapt according to the different religions aspect, and also for the atmosphere. We need to review also the different experiments and to benefit from the lessons behind it. The fourth one, the statement which should be wise, especially to face the different challenges and to activate all the elements to have balance and stability. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam. We would like to thank the doctor for respecting time, where she spoke about the different trends in education. Now we move to Dr. Ahmed Ali Sulaiman from Egypt. Dr. Ahmed is part of the Quality Education Office, and also He worked in the Higher Council in Egypt. He wrote a paper about strengthening the value of responsibility for university students and its positive impact in their Islamic communities. Floor is yours, Doctor. Your Excellency, thank you very much. I would like to thank all the participants and even the attendees all over the world, even the organizers for this important event. My topic about strengthening the value of responsibility within students of universities and how can that have a great positive impact. For the impact of responsible values is very important. Without it, there will be no good life on the earth, as it guides the human being toward the good way, and it protects him from falling into gaps, and also that can protect his intellectual thinking for the community and even the family, and that help to protect the instinct as a standard to recognize between good and bad, between good and evil, and it protects the community from having the stability. And it's very important to have a set of values that we need to have it and activate it to have impact so the community flourish. And also to move forward toward positive. So what is the benefit of that? If the engineer he is not good, what's the benefit of that? If medicine is not able to have a good doctor, so what's the benefit of the speeches? If the speaker he himself speak against what he's saying, is so. Values are the laws and the big motivators which we need to work and so we need to work together in order to have fairness against to what's happening in the community, and also to love Allah and also the whole universe, and to have also a virtual community where Allah said, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas." You were the best ummah for the people. So if you have a look here about the different values, you will find that these values are the motivator to push somebody forwards, and for that we need to strengthen this community and also to follow these values. Especially here we talk about the economical, social ones, and also we need, as we see, some countries they are facing different crises they are facing. So with the Islamic Ummah, they are moving forward and doing their best to advance the community. So definitely they need to enable these values in the Islamic intellectual thinking, and also to be a solid ground for the community with the different motivators and also the different platforms to launch these values, especially the value of responsibility, which is very important. And here we are talking about that, and we're investing the educational institutions, especially universities, to achieve that. Responsibility in Islam is individual and group, and also it's a universal responsibility. So everybody, like for example, what the human being need to do in worshiping Allah, or even what he is doing, or what think about, or even about his family and his how he deal with others, or even to the other elements. Here we talk about animals, plants, air, everything, how we deal with others. as Allah said in the Holy Quran, that you are responsible about what you are doing. And as Prophet Muhammad said, when he talked about responsibility, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. This is a very famous hadith. And also there is wisdom in the past. You should know what's your duty to do it and what's your right to have it. So this one is starting from the person and ending with the person. The collective responsibility. I am trying here to talk about the fundamentalism for the educators in the Islamic universities to benefit from this paper and also to have it in their Islamic universities. Collective group by discipline the tongue. If you believe in Allah and the Day of Judgment, you should say good or be quiet, and also not to intervene in things that's not belong to you. And there is another hadith talking about not to argue with others. So self-discipline, a person said to Prophet Muhammad, he said to him, please recommend me. He said, don't be angry, don't be angry 5 times. Number 5, heart discipline. You would not believe in Allah without like to your colleague what you like for yourself. So it's very important to have control on yourself. And Islam urge people to ask for permission. Protecting neighbors. Also in Hadith, you need to be good to your neighbor. And here we see the different instructions, systemic instructions to strengthen the community as part of launching to flourishing, and how to have the social responsibility, group and individuals, to do their duty toward their countries, and also to protect what their achievements and even the public wealth and public properties to achieve stability and achieve noble targets, and even protecting the people and educating people and plant more trees and protecting all the elements of the universe. Also, we talk about the responsibility, the collective responsibility of all the human beings. They need to strengthen together about how to protect this environment and to cooperate to face these different challenges and to protect the balance in this universe which Allah created with any way. So there is a famous hadith where the group of people they were on a ship and they want to spoil this ship. This is very important. It is very important to have a compass of self-discipline, and also when we talk about the compass, we need to have the responsibility and have parallel lines. Strengthen or reform the relationship between the person and Allah in order to live within stability and to taste the sweetness of Iman, of believing, and also have a relationship between the person and his psychology to live in peace, and also with your neighbors and your acquaintances. In addition, with colleagues and your leaders, with even the people, all people, the responsibility of the person with the elements of this universe. Here we find that you are able to have the responsibility This experiment from Dar es Salaam, especially here, this is very important in Indonesia, where they inaugurated these systems, especially what the students feel or see around him, where there's educational values. You live that and you don't ask for return. And here, to have what's important, it's very important to have the moral education in any curriculum, and also to lead by example, sacrificing money and selves. I would like to close my word here with these recommendations to include values, especially responsibility in all the curriculum and activities for the universities, directly and indirectly, to participate, to be an approach for living. Also to have a similar approach in the whole Islamic world, and to make use of the educational treasures, especially the responsibility that our Islamic heritage have. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
نشكر فضيلة الدكتور أحمد على هذه الكلمة الطيبة. الآن ننتقل إلى فضيلة الدكتورة وداد نائبي مدير معهد ابن بطوطة الإفريقي ببنين. الدكتورة قدمت بحث بعنوان
Research is entitled Obstacles to Development for Education. You have the floor. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and peace be on the Prophet and his companion and his family. Peace be upon you. I would like to start by expressing my thanks to the World Muslim Communities Council, its President and Secretary General, and those working at it, and the organizers of this conference. And I would like to thank the UAE, its government, and its people. Mr. the Chairman, Almighty God says, this is verses from the Quran for the people who did the good deeds. So human beings can complete themselves, and they can complete the others, and with that people can avoid the loss and be winners, and this is what we are looking for, to be winning, and that's what we're doing at the World Muslim Communities Council. So this research, which is entitled The Obstacles to Research. And we have seen all the corruption that have affected the practices of a human being and what the world is witnessing in terms of bad ethics that have impacted all over the world. And we are seeking through different the educational and nutritional system to change the human being and to control him so that he can live according to plans that will serve economic power, which will make it look like the witch plan. And therefore, we need to consider education as a neutral tool for seeding, and it adopts any system. This is what makes the education as being responsible for that, and it stems from religious or heritage or intellectual sources and control the outcomes of education. And introduction, the system of values in general and in Africa respects the assets and communicates with them through different ways and unlimited ways. It's a system that stems from intellectual and spiritual traditional ways that we can see in high-class behavior. It attracts some people to build civilization in attempt to help education, health and economy, but the reality that we live today makes the heritage that we live makes it unfit for the modern education system and not convenient for it, given this is this is a witch that they are believing, and since all the societies were based on heritage that is mixed with spirituality, lives is sacred for them, and dealing between human beings is sacred. In other words, the heritage system has a foundation that serves the human being by himself and for his progress and development, and this highlights this alert humanity that he has among this family. I will skip other elements of the research. The main obstacles for development of the values is manipulation of the concept, especially when we talk about heritage and its importance and need for it, and need to separate the past and the present. This manipulation has many actors like teachers and government, and ethics have been inserted in some curriculum. In addition to what the capitalism has given birth to, and the culture of consumerism. Therefore, Ibn Battuta Institute in the Republic of Benin has added ethics to its curriculum. In December 2019, it has organized an international conference on women and preservation of ethics. The first chapter talks of the birth of the concept of ethics and the African level, and the second talks about the symbols between the heritage concept and the time and the place. And the fifth element is buying and selling, and then the individuality and the group between the heritage. When I will have 1 minute left, I will move to the conclusion. Why did I talk about pregnancy and childbirth? In heritage, pregnancy and birth takes place within a specific frame, like a selection of the right wife and the mechanism that controls the relationship between the man and the woman, and even the prayers made between the man and the woman during and or before the pregnancy. When the man is saturated with such values and system, we can see that he will jump directly into the university education. When the person learns at university, he knows that this knowledge is like a pregnancy. So there has to be some things that he should avoid, things that he has to do. Even the birth, which means the production of this knowledge or working with this knowledge, is like giving birth, and it needs everything, just like the normal birth that we talk about. So linking life to education makes us come up with specific outcomes, and the person who understands this relationship between life and education, between this paper, in heritage, we mentioned to the sound, to the voice. So with these messages, the person can hear a sound? Can he think that he can get like inspiration? He can hear it like with a device. He can hear it through the waves or others. But education has made the human being lose this sense by learning to rely on the curriculum. The symbols is important because human life is all lies in symbols. Symbols that our bodies reflect. This education has made the human being separated from himself, from his reality. So we need to shape that reality and to integrate those natural symbols and to make sure that this education would have a feeling and would be able to deal with life. Buying and selling, we know here, or in Africa in general, or in other generations, we know the concept of the market without a buyer. Some market where things are put, the person goes and take the product and put the money and leaves. But we have lost that. Now we need to put a camera. We don't even trust ourselves, even when we know that person is trustworthy. So this conflict between the heritage values and the education system, we need to go back to the ego, because what I have can cover a family. What I can do for my children can cover also my nephews. The service I give to society is not a lost service. So education, your effort and your certificate, but we should also link the success of the student to his society production. This research has shed light on the values among the education society, and the conclusion of this research is calling to integrate ethics in education and curriculum and to activate education activities, making sure that education will be the place for different sessions and discussion. Focus on education as an element of sacredness of life, and which will play a role for the life of the student and the teacher, making sure to involve some alert minds and teaching through other curriculums, having a high committee at the World Muslim Communities Council, which will be responsible and will preserve the system of ethics. Last, instilling system of ethics is based on aware and alert education, which will enable us to fight all types of terrorism and all types of violence. Each society has its own university system, and what we need to do is to protect ourselves by reviving the culture of us as in the sense of Islamism. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. This was now we'll move to the last session.
الآن عندنا جلسة ختامية وهناك سيكون رئيس جلسة أستاذ
and we'll have the chair of the session,
عربي
Dr. Arabi. Thank you, Mr. the Chairman, for chairing this session. I would like to thank all those who have participated in this conference in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the scholars and participants, their guests and colleagues. In the midst of this conference, we'd like to make the following recommendation to set up a general framework for a system capable of building a personality that will be ethically consolidated and also capable to reflect, to represent Islam in the right way. This reference framework values represent the outset from which we can activate the curriculum. And we need to teach the values and present them in the sense of values and teaching to values in the form of information and topics as third necessity to give the human aspect to ethical values as they would be presented in sources and Islamic religion and human philosophies, and this by itself opens perspective for learners. Fourth, continuous support to those who work in education at universities, to continuous training on values and enabling them to be attractive value role models among the students. Fifth, establishing programs and activities that would instill the values of moderation and tolerance and solidarity and diversity, and that would be taking place outside the educational process. Six, enhancing the roles of values in the evaluation of curriculums, so that assessment of the learners would include other dimensions. Seventh, the necessity to enhance the importance of the management, educational management of values with the teachers, because the reflection of values in dealing with the university society would have the main impact in instilling the aspired values. 8, enhancing the importance of tackling the value effects of international crises of all types, be it political, economic, social, and that would happen in the world, especially for the youngsters who represent the university students and need to be alert towards such negative values. And 9, the need to establish a unit of research that will be a joint unit between the World Muslim Communities Council and the League of Islamic Societies, and to change this recommendation and transfer them into executive programs and plan. I hope that this would be beneficial to all of us and to achieve a good life for all of us with good values, the human values that will achieve development and progress for all of us. I give the floor to Dr. Nasruddin Arif from the World Muslim Communities Council to give us his final closure of this conference. Peace be upon you. On behalf of His Excellency Dr. Ali Rashid Al Naimi and His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Al Bishai, I thank you very much for your participation and your insights and realistic thoughts stemming from a realistic vision reflecting different corners of the world. This conference has given us an enlightened vision and the realistic of the way we can add values in educational system. And now it's up to the World Muslim Communities Council, in collaboration with the League of Islamic Universities and the universities participating in this conference, to implement your recommendations and made them realistic and publish them and make them available to the education society. And so thank you to all of you, and I hope to see you in other conferences, and it will be face-to-face here in Abu Dhabi and not only by Zoom. Thank you very much.
بارك الله فيك. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا سيدي. جزاكم الله كل خير.
Thank you.
شكرا بارك الله فيكم.
بارك الله بالتوفيق إن شاء الله، بالتوفيق للجميع إن شاء الله.
Thank you and good luck to everyone.
بارك الله فيك.
Thank you to the translators.
شكرا في امان الله.
السلام عليكم إن شاء الله، في أمان الله، رب يحفظنا جميعا.
السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
في أمان الله.
في حفظ الله اختي، في حفظ الله. جزاكم الله خير. في حفظ الله. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. في أمان الله.
في حفظ الله دكتور، في حفظ الله.